peer pressure which makes children move towards westernized culture now?
Okay. So actually, if we have a very strong cultural identity inside the family, and if we take pride in it as a family, that okay, see, for example, in our family, I believe in minimalism. I believe in living a very simple life, not buying anything that come in plastics as much as possible, trying to eat local food. These are my beliefs, and this is what obviously I'm going to be handing over to my children. These are my cultural beliefs. These are my this is the core of our family. Now, when my children go out and they find that other children are eating lollipop or noodles and all this, and even Western culture, I mean, you can just say one word, but Western culture is what is the culture of competition that we are also a part of as parents. We also want our child to compete and get there and reach out to be the first or the best. So have we detached ourselves from the Western cultural ideas? First, we have to inspect ourselves, because in most traditional societies, there is no thought of competition. Most often, it is cooperation. They know that we exist only as a community. That as an individual, if I thrive, it's not going to work. We have to thrive as a community. We have to be together as a community. We have to support each other. The individual is a part of a community that is a whole. So each individual have to do their best so that the community stays together. This individualism is what the Western culture has promoted. If we are part of that individualism, if we think that, okay, as long as I'm good, everything is fine, we cannot ask our child to not look the Western way, because we are leading examples right there in front of their eyes. But if we are talking about cooperation, working with the people around us, if our core beliefs are different, children stick with it. So when children go out,
how do you deal with the peer pressure then? The peer pressure is saying something, but we are saying something then.
So what happens is, like, say, for example, if I just do the simple example of noodles, that my child also wants to eat noodles. So I said, okay, fine, let's buy noodles, eat it. The food value of that is this: if you like it, continue to eat it. I have no issues. I will not eat it. The more I say don't eat it, I won't buy it for you, the more problems it's going to create. Okay, you've thought about it, you really want it, here is the money, go get it, cook it, eat it, no problems. But I'm not going to eat it. Sooner or later, they are going to see a change in their health. And then that is when we can speak and say, okay, maybe you should change your food, because you are what you eat. So in each of these situations, the more we say no, the less effective we are going to be. The more we say, okay, so what is the taste of the noodles? What makes you want it? So do you know that there is this thing called Ajinomoto in it, which is addictive? Do you know that you are actually being controlled by the company that's making these noodles? You don't have control over your own tongue. So how are you going to manage your life? You don't have a say in what you should eat. It's healthy, but you don't want to eat it because your tongue is hooked onto that. We just have discussions about this separately, while allowing them to go through the process of enjoying these products. Sooner or later, they will shift, because everybody loves themselves. Everybody wants to be healthy. That's a part of our basic makeup. So and if I never eat it, obviously they're going to think, okay, must be something, right? My mom never eats it. So that's how we can lead by example. Without saying no, we facilitate it, we have discussions on it, we can do research on it, we can use burn the noodles and show them that see how it burns, see the smell it makes. It's not edible, it's not food even. Once they get a clarity about that, see, most of the time the children are doing what they are doing because It's a part of their development of their own will.
Right, you're right.
It's not that they want to negate us. It is that they want to assert themselves. So if you allow them to assert themselves in all the wrong habits, it's fine. Let them go through that. Sooner or later, they will assert themselves and come into the right habits. But if you start giving them negative feedback from the beginning, they're not going to be able to assert themselves through that. So they will assert themselves through other things which will be more negative. Basically, we have to understand that child's will is developing, and the stronger it is, actually, the better it is going to be for the child in achieving whatever its life purpose is. It's our willpower that keeps us going, 99% of the time. So it's good to have a very willful child. Only thing is, we need to bring in some reason, some compassion into that willfulness. And that's best done by, not by force, but by discussion and understanding.
Yeah, and also this is an extension of what you're saying, because more and more you see alcohol being part of, social acceptance, and it is just a thin line between alcohol and alcoholism before it becomes an addiction. And dialogues like this, when started at a very young age, will actually help by the time that they become 15, 16 years, to think for themselves that I will not go the alcohol.
Exactly.
Right? With alcohol and drugs, because it's portrayed as very glamorous, especially smoking and alcohol. So I hope I haven't taken away from you. That's right, right?
That's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah. You start with noodles and Ajinomoto, and you go to, right now, screen time. That's also addictive.
Oh, yeah. Screen time is a big thing. It's like I am battling it in my house with screen time, and I'm reading on my Kindle, okay, this is from me, this question. I'm sorry, I'm jumping the queue here, but I read on the Kindle because I don't have space for books in the house, but I read. So, but that is still screen. So how do I negotiate that? I'm asking for parents who are in the same soup. So what to do, Meenakshi?
See, that's what, it's not that all screen is bad. It has its positive aspects, and it has its learning, facilitation. It does facilitate a lot of learning. What you watch on the screen is important.
Right.
So screen, if it's like a sheet of paper, then it's fine. Okay. When it is moving with
images.
Yeah, images, and when the backdrop is, it's going to subtly enter your subconscious. Because actually, that's what has been found, that the moving images are actually a distraction. It is the backdrop that affects our psyche. Right. And when you analyze the backdrop of most of these cartoon things and all that, you will realize that the backdrop is mostly very alone, aloof. It's a general background, and you see things moving in that. So there is no connect, really.
So it's actually, so we are teaching our children to mirror the disconnect, right? That's very dangerous.
Yes.
I didn't think about that at all. That's actually very dangerous. You are mirroring disconnect.
Yes.
My goodness. Okay.
The subtlety of these, maybe they've been done intentionally, maybe they're unintentional, but the effect is this.
If impact is the same. Okay. So we move to the next question. Value for money. How to make them realize it? And being children with special needs, it's finding it hard to get them to understand prioritizing and reprioritizing. Money.
Money. So are we talking about only children with special
needs? No, it is actually with everybody. It includes the special needs children also in this. But money is important for everybody.
Yeah. So actually, the best way to teach anybody the value of something is to expose them to the effort involved in making that thing. Then and only then they know the value of something. So here in our school, for example, we just do gardening. So the children take the effort of digging up the soil, mulching it, watering it, grow a plant. Then they get a couple of brinjals. And then we ask them, how much will you sell this for? How will you realize the price of this? So there is a difference between the price and the cost. What is the price and at what cost will you be able to sell it? We talk about this, and maybe at 9, 10, 12, they're not so clear, but it is a seed that is sowed in their mind that there is a difference in the price and in the cost. Like rice, the price of rice is very low. The cost of rice is very low, but it's a priceless product in terms of how it's going to nurture our body. Whereas the cost of a television is very high, but it's something that you can live without. You don't even need it. So the cost is not in line with the real value of that product. So that is how we can teach them value. The other thing that perhaps can be done is giving children money to go and buy things. See, buying things from a kirana store is very different from buying things from a mall. In a mall, you don't come face to face with money at all. Whereas in a kirana store, when you go to the corner shop and you deal the money out and you get your change back, and you give 10 rupees and you get this small packet of bubble gum. Okay, this is what the cost of this thing is. That realization, I think, is it comes only over time, and they start questioning it. Is it really worth it? That comes with the dialogue that we are having with our children all the time. Say, like for example, in our school, some kids bring this Lay's chips over. So we need to talk to them and tell them about local food, tell them about non-chemical food, tell them about non-packaged food. But if I tell them all that, they are going to be like, okay, big deal. So how do I venture into it in a way that it pulls their interest also? So I said, okay, good. So for how much did you buy this? 5 rupees. And what is the weight of this particular product that you have? It says 5 grams. So 1 rupee for 1 gram, literally, right? Yeah. And what is the price of potatoes? So we find out from somebody, 30 rupees a kg. So how many grams in 1 kg? And pretty soon the numbers become very clear. And children get the feeling that, oh, we are being cheated. And nobody wants to be cheated, That is what, you're being taken for a ride, man. Do you know? And not only that, you don't know what kind of oil was used. You don't know when this was made. You don't know the real food value. You don't know that it's been added with additives that could hook you and make you addicted to it. All these are the extras. So, okay, is it better that we buy potatoes, 1 kg of potatoes, and shall we make chips? We learn to make chips. Isn't that better? Yeah, it's better. So once we do that, we do it as a school activity. We buy the potatoes, we make the chips. Then they see the difference in taste, and they love the effort that is involved in making all this. And then they realize that, yeah, this product is useless. I'd rather do this and make something for myself. That's how we can teach them the value of money and the value of their time and the value of other people's effort and their own effort.
Yeah. Yes. The next question. I think this also covers that, how to instill or make them understand a sense of responsibility.
Same thing. Yeah.
Is something similar to that.